Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky15, and in this video I'll be giving you my normal Lucky 15 predictions for tomorrow's horse racing action. As usual here on the channel, well, we've done Royal Ascot now. It was a bit of a hard week last week. A lot of people really struggled, a lot of pundits did, but there were some people that did have some good winners along the way. We had a couple of winners, but nothing to write home about, and we had a few decent each ways as well throughout the festival there, but it wasn't to be, not like last year where we had a much better one. We had quite a few decent winners there last year, but it's the way it goes. Sometimes you do well at these kind of big events and sometimes you don't. It's just the way it goes, and it was a bit tricky this year. There was a lot of favourites that went down disappointingly in the end, so yeah, it was a bit of a mixed bag. I think the bookies probably definitely won against the punters when it did come to Royal Ascot this year, but we can all put it behind us now. We can remember the form as well for future races. I think there'll be a lot of good horses coming out of that Royal meeting, and it'd be interesting to see how they do. So enough of that, we'll get straight into the action for tomorrow's racing, and to kick it off we go to the first race at Chepstow at 2 o'clock with a horse here called Harbour. 4-1 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Daniel Mark Loughnane, and Martin Harley is the jockey in the reins tomorrow. This one finished third on its handicap debut last time out, where it didn't run too badly, and it was running on quite well for pressure in the end. They're stepping it up in trip tomorrow. It'd been running over more over the 7 furlong kind of trips. It's going to want that extra distance. It's in its pedigree. It's by Dark Angel, who's a good sire to follow. He has quite a lot of winners, his prodigy, and I thought still off a mark in the low 60s, there was still a lot more improvement for this horse. Yes, there's a few others with form claims, but I thought going up in trip was definitely a major advantage to this horse, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe if there was a bit of gamble on this horse tomorrow, and it could go off favourite, maybe 5-2, 9-4 if there was a lot of support behind it, but I could definitely see some money coming for this one. We then go for a bit of jumps action at Southwell in the 4:15, and we're going here with a horse called Cubswin. Now last time we tipped up Cubswin, you might remember, was a couple of weeks ago, and it won on the flat for us at Lingfield at 16-1. There was a massive drift on the day, but it was a nice performance that day by Trevor Whelan, and it was a comfortable winner. But this horse has been not a bad hurdler so far for Neil King, who's the trainer of this horse. Bryony Frost, who's been riding quite a few of his jump horses lately, is taking the reins, and she's done really well for this yard. You might remember she won on Milan's Bar, the Betfred Classic Chase earlier in the year, and also as well gave him a cracking ride in the Grand National. Takes a good £3 off. This horse ran quite well a couple of starts ago in a very competitive Class 2 handicap, where it only just lost that day at Cheltenham. This is dropping down a couple of grades tomorrow. It's a lot more easier for it, and I thought tomorrow with a star jockey booking of Bryony Frost, there was a lot to like about this horse's chances. It's around about 10-3 best odds I've seen out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one could give us a winner here. We then stay at Southwell for the 5:15 with a horse called Ilewindelilah. 4-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Charlie Mann. Jamie Moore booked for the ride. This horse finished 4th on its reappearance after a bit of a layoff through the winter. It's normally a summer horse. It likes a good ground, and that wasn't a bad performance that day. And I thought tomorrow this was a much more easier opportunity compared to it ran at Huntington. It's staying over the longer trip. We know it stays all day. It's won over further before, even though it is running over 2.7 miles. I like the ground. It's got a nice weight to carry around, and I thought this was a good opportunity for this horse to get off the mark for this year. So I'm going to be backing it as our third selection. We then go to Windsor for the 7:40 with a horse called Buffer Zone in the colours of the Jubmont group. 5-4 best odds, trained by Roger Charlton, who's been having a few winners, especially for us recently. You might remember the likes of Polish, and I also tipped up a winner for him on the punters page, which I do a little bit of work for at Weatherby on Friday. So he's not bad, stable for us to follow. Kieran Schumacher's booked for the ride. Won over the course in distance last time we saw it. The form's been boosted with the second horse subsequently winning at Newmarket a couple of days ago, so the form looks strong. This horse definitely looks like it's probably the most classiest horse in the race, and it's probably better than a Class 3 handicap, and it'd be interesting to see where this horse might go potentially if it does win tomorrow. So I'm going to be backing that one tomorrow, and it probably would be my banker bet of all of these selections. So hopefully we can have a good day for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel here at Lucky15, please do so by subscribing. Hit a like as well for the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. Also as well, let us know your comments in the comments box below. If you're going to be having a bet tomorrow, I'd like to know what you're going to be backing it with. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners for tomorrow's racing, and we'll be seeing you soon.